All right, so I'm all about diving into these tech stories that have a little mystery to them, and NFTs, your latest thing, definitely fits.
I can see that.
You sent over this piece about NFT.Paris from this Joseph Raczynski.
Oh yeah, he's really got his finger on the pulse when it comes to the future of tech.
Yeah, sounds like
Yeah.
18,000 people at this thing.
Yeah.
That's wild. So obviously something's going on, right?
Right.
What did you find? What's beyond the NFT hype in 2024?
You know what's funny? I think NFT.Paris is kind of the answer.
Really?
Yeah, like remember back when the internet was brand new?
Oh,
Everybody
right.
was like, I don't get it. What is this thing? Making big promises left and right.
I feel like we're still there with some of that.
It feels familiar, right? What Raczynski is showing us is we're past that whole like, look at my bored ape phase. This is serious business now. These people are building the future of this technology.
Okay, but I gotta stop you there for a second.
Sure.
Because on the one hand, you've got that whole like, okay, everybody's building the future over there.
Right.
But then Raczynski's talking about how all the normies are scoffing at it, right?
Right.
But then the next minute, he's at a CryptoPunks brunch.
I know, right? It's like,
Which is it?
and that's actually a really good example of how things are changing because that brunch wasn't just a brunch, right? You had to have an NFT to get in. It was token gated.
Oh, interesting.
So it's like the NFT is a key on your phone, but it's also your invite to this whole community. So you own the NFT, you unlock the experience. And this is where it gets really interesting because we're going to start seeing this everywhere. We're talking concerts, maybe even like backstage access at sports games.
Right.
Just because you have the NFT.
This is like a digital backstage pass.
Exactly.
And that actually ties in perfectly to something that Raczynski keeps bringing up, this whole idea of ownership and how NFTs change the entire game when it comes to digital ownership.
Yeah.
What's the big deal with that?
Oh, it's huge. Imagine trying to explain owning a website back in 1995.
Okay.
The internet was the Wild West. NFTs, that's that same energy. But now it's like you can claim your stake in the digital world.
Okay.
And that stake, that could be anything. Art, music, even your medical records.
He even said that the term NFT might disappear.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Like, we don't say World Wide Web anymore. It's just the internet.
Right.
He's saying that tokenization, that technology, that's what becomes normal. Is he onto something?
Oh, absolutely. It's like back then it wasn't about websites. It was about connecting everything, right? Information people, systems,
Yeah.
NFTs, they're the same idea. Like this could be how we connect everything in a world where digital ownership is just how things work.
Okay, so you're saying we're talking about a future where I can, like, own a digital thing as much as I own my phone.
Yeah, and can prove it.
Wow. That's a lot to unpack.
It is.
But let's bring it back down to earth for a sec. What's past the art world? Raczynski mentioned some really out there examples.
Oh yeah, he's got some wild ones, like gaming. He thinks that's going to be huge in the next couple of years.
Okay, I'm listening.
Imagine this, instead of like your character and all your gear being stuck in one game, you actually own it.
Oh.
Like you own that awesome sword, the armor, the rare items, and you can trade them, you can sell them just like you would in the real world.
So it's like taking those microtransactions and actually giving you ownership over what you're buying.
Exactly. And with VR and AR about to like explode onto the scene, forget it. That digital ownership, that's your key to entire worlds.
Okay, see, this is what I'm talking about. This is where things get really interesting.
Surreal.
And it doesn't even stop there.
For,
Right. Well, what were some of those other examples?
This is how you know we're past the NFTs are just JPEGs conversation.
Okay.
Because we're talking about changing how systems work. Like, remember Kings of Leon? That band?
Yeah, vaguely.
They released a whole album as an NFT.
What does that even mean?
It means fans got exclusive content, concert tickets. They could even interact directly with the band, all because of this tech. And that's just music. We're talking about changing how we think about everything.
Okay, now hold on. Because I'm seeing the headlines now. NFTs for passports. How does that even work?
And that's the cool part, right? Raczynski's talking about using this tech to, like, totally transform how we prove who we are. Forget carrying around all those documents, your passport, your driver's license, all of it. It'd be right there on the blockchain, safe and sound.
So no more digging through my wallet every time I need to show some ID.
Right. Or worrying about losing something important.
I can get behind that. And that's just like personal stuff.
Yeah.
What about all the fakes out there?
Oh man, counterfeit goods. That's $1 billion problem right now. But picture this with NFTs. You could literally track the entire life of a product from when it's made to when it ends up in your hands. No more fakes.
That's actually huge.
Right. And it gets bigger. What about your medical records?
Okay, that feels kind of scary.
I know, right? But think about it. No more carrying around like a whole file cabinet of paper. Your whole medical history, it's yours. You control it. It's safe. It's easy to get to, and nobody can mess with it.
That actually would be a game changer, especially here in the U.S., our healthcare system. It's a nightmare sometimes. But, okay, I got to ask. This all sounds amazing, but there's got to be a downside, right? Raczynski couldn't have just ignored all that.
Oh, he definitely didn't. He actually spends a good chunk of the piece digging into those what-ifs. What could go wrong? What are the risks?
Yeah, because it can't all be sunshine and rainbows, right?
Definitely not.
Yeah.
One of the things he's most concerned about is regulation, or really the lack of it. I mean, this technology is moving so fast, and governments are always playing catch up.
Yeah, they're not exactly known for their speed.
Exactly. And that creates uncertainty for businesses, and it could even slow down innovation if nobody knows what the rules are.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like we're back in the wild west of tech again, where nobody knows what the rules are because they haven't been written yet. What else?
Security is another big one. If we're going to have things like digital identities and valuable assets living on the blockchain, it's got to be basically unbreakable. And we've already seen some pretty crazy hacks in the crypto world.
Yeah, that's true.
So making sure that these systems are secure, that's going to be crucial for people to feel comfortable actually using this stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like anything else, right? The more valuable something is, the bigger the target it becomes.
100%. And then there's the accessibility issue. Right now, NFTs feel very like niche techy even. If this is really going to change the world, it's got to be something that everyone can use, not just the crypto experts, you know?
Absolutely. Because, like we always say, knowledge is power.
Right. The more you understand this technology, the better equipped you'll be to actually use it safely and make smart choices, and even advocate for regulations that actually make sense.
And that's kind of the whole point of these deep dives, isn't it? We're all in this together trying to figure this stuff out.
Exactly. We unpack the complicated stuff, we look at what's hype and what's real, and we hopefully make it a little easier to navigate this crazy tech world.
All right. Well said. So let's bring it all back full circle here. NFT.Paris. What are we taking away from this? It sounds like we're on the edge of something big here, moving past all the hype and is this thing going to stick around? Questions. NFTs are clearly more than just those digital art pieces.
It's like Raczynski saying, this is about changing how we think about ownership and value in a digital world.
Yeah.
And that's huge.
It is huge.
Yeah.
And like any big tech shift, there's going to be bumps in the road, things to figure out. But the potential here is just undeniable.
It really is. What's got you most excited? Like if you had to pick one thing from everything Raczynski's talking about, what feels like it has the most potential, even with those bumps in the road?
You know, honestly, what really gets me is how this could level the playing field. We were talking about artists having more control over their work, people actually owning their digital identities. Even things like supply chains and healthcare could be more transparent. I mean, those are some amazing possibilities.
They really are. And I think it's a good reminder that at the end of the day, tech, like this is a tool, right? It can be used for good or bad.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it's up to us to shape how it develops and make sure it's being used in a way that benefits everybody.
So to everyone listening, the adventure continues. Keep those questions coming. Keep an open mind. Because the future of NFTs, it's being written right now. And who knows, maybe you'll be one of the authors.